Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Gordon Hatcher. I'm a practitioner of breakthrough project management techniques, and this is the 15th in a set of 15 videos on breakthrough management techniques. This technique in particular is called over-communicate. And the idea here is it's okay in the age of modern communications to over-communicate. In fact, it's a lot more okay than it was in the past. And in the era of email and SMS messages, it's not a big deal to get a message and quickly skim through it and delete it if you don't need it. And so there is not the effect of over-communicating like there was in the day when the principal means of communications was the telephone. If you got a lot of calls when you were working on something, they basically interrupted you. And so there was a consequence of over-communicating. You'd have to call someone up, they'd have to stop what they're doing, they'd have to pick up the phone to talk to you, and if they wanted to talk to you or not, it could have a consequence of over-communicating, of having a negative effect. So let me explain a situation that I have now with a colleague of mine that I work with. And so here's kind of the story. This is my colleague, and this is me. And he and I work together on something that goes way up to the top of the company that we work for. Top of company. And they need this information every week at the top of the company. And if it's not there, it's a big deal. So both he and I have bosses that are different bosses. He works for someone, and I work for someone. And if somehow this person gets nervous about whether I'm actually going to produce the information this week on time, they will call their boss and say, "Oh my God, I haven't got the information from Gordon. I don't think it's going to arrive on time." And what the consequence of this is, that person will immediately do two things. They'll send another message that says, we might not be able to get the report in this week. And then that person will call my boss and say, I'm worried Gordon's not going to actually produce the information this week. Well, that actually, whether they're worried about me actually producing it, really has little to do with whether I in fact will produce it. So what I do is I communicate with this person all the time. I send him an email that says, I'm working on it. I send him an email that says, you'll get it around 4 o'clock Eastern Time. I send him an email that says, you're going to get it just like you always get it. And that person is actually greatly appreciative of the fact that I send these messages. Because then they're confident, as a consequence of maybe even a few seconds a day that they look at these messages, that they know that I'm going to deliver, or they have a high degree of confidence I'm going to deliver the material that I said. So, am I actually required to do that? No. I'm only really required to deliver the information that I'm on the hook for. But if I spend the time to ensure that they know that I'm working on it, and they're going to get it when I say they need it, they're comforted, and so they don't involve all the rest of these people in these discussions. And that saves me a lot of time, because if I have to spend time explaining to other people that really they're going to get the report when I say they're going to get it, and it's going to be business as usual and there's not going to be a crisis, I could be putting that to better use, that energy. So to over-communicate with people helps you have more time that you can put forward to your breakthrough to produce those results. Again, happy to have your comments and any thoughts you might have about this material, this one or the other breakthrough techniques I've described. Please feel free to drop me an email at gph3@gph3.com. Thanks a lot. See you.